some investigating to do. But in the meantime, your ridicule is unfounded because it's a practical and reasonable theory, right?
No,
that the environment around you can have negative effects, and there might be ways to combat. Excuse me, 1 second, bro. That the environment around you has
just yelling
negative effects, and you can combat those negative effects by known technology.
I'm trying to
reasonable, right?
Look, I let you talk.
That's reasonable, right?
Look, I'm going to explain why that's not reasonable, right? Look, it's going to take me a while. I'm going to need time to speak and you not yelling at me, right? So the reason why what Sugar said is the two reasons why what Sugar said is uninformative, right? The main reason is that
you said unreasonable.
Hey, stop interrupting.
Wait, hold on, I'm interjecting. You said you were going to talk about unreasonableness.
Go ahead, Yuri.
Thank you. So what I'm saying is that I said it was uninformative, right? And not that it was unreasonable. But the reason why it would be unreasonable is because when we talk about grounding, we're talking about some sort of electrical notion already. So obviously we're going to be talking about electrons prima facie, right? Right when we talk about grounding, that's going to be taken to be self-evident from the talk of electricity, right? But we're talking about electrons, right? And so another second reason why it's uninformative, right? Because I don't care. Of course, it's going to be taking in electrons, right? But the reason why I don't care about that is I'm just trying to figure out how the machine works, right? And telling me that the thing basically utilizes electricity, right? It's not informing of anything because we're already talking about grounding concrete. Now you can unmute.
What kind of
real quick, one more thing. I'm sorry about that. One more thing too.
Go ahead.
To address your point, Sugar, that you decided to slide in. You made the claim that it was you wanted to dial back your claim and say that you don't know if it's electricity. But if you don't know it's electricity, then why would you say it was electrons? What do you think is posited by that when you invoke electrons into a conversation?
You don't think there's a difference between electrons and like the stream of electricity that's powering your computer? Electricity is a chain reaction generating energy. All right, electrons can chill and not be doing that.
Wait,
you know that, right?
You don't take lightning to be a type of electricity?
That would be a chain reaction of electricity, yes. But you know the lightning's not happening all the time, right? A lot of the time, electrons are just chilling in the sky. They're not, shooting off and blowing stuff up, right?
Just what do you mean by chilling?
Not doing the electricity is this chain reaction, right? Not doing that.
No. Hold on real quick.
I'd like to address Yuri if I may.
Hold on real quick, and then you can address me, right? Concrete?
Hold on.
1 second, buddy.
Hold on.
So 1 second, because my phone's about to die too, so I'm not going to be able to get in this conversation for long. So, Sugar, what you're talking about is an electrical current, right? So that's going to be different from us talking about simply electricity, right? Because electricity is all around us, static electricity, things like that, right? But you're talking about directing electricity along a circuit or some type of current, right? And
yes.
Yeah, that's different from what we're talking
Okay, great.
about.
Well, then I have no problem with what you're saying about electrons or electricity. Sure. What's wrong with that? Why does that refute anything? Why does that refute earthing or grounding?
No, that doesn't refute earthing or grounding. You still haven't answered any of my questions. What I was saying was that when you made
what are your questions?
When you made the comment, right, that electricity, but electricity, but it may not even use electricity. Right? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I got confused by your questions. Yeah, I thought you were referring to an electric current. I don't understand why you were bringing up electricity. I don't know what your point was.
Electricity works, right? Now you can go back to concrete.
Sugar, this is a waste of time. Yuri is just hose mad. Nothing more, nothing less.
Anyways, Sugar.
I'm back. Go ahead, Concrete. If Concrete wants to respond, or Tom, I don't know. But my phone's about to die.
Yuri, all you're doing is nitpicking a reasonable theory and a reasonable response to the theory.
What theory?
Wait, how is it a theory?
What
theory is there?
The theory is that here, let me help you out.
What
Please stop, bro. Please stop. Again, The theory is that our environment has electrons that have negative effects on us, and that through grounding we can combat, mitigate, eliminate those negative effects. I don't know why this makes your vagina throb so violently, right? That you have to be condescending and argumentative. But it seems it seems reasonable to me. And if you don't want to engage in the practice, so fucking be it, right?
Wait, what
It's
seems
like someone
reasonable,
saying,
Concrete?
it's
Wait,
like
what seems
someone
reasonable?
saying drink. Sorry, it's like someone saying drink eight cups of water a day, and it'll lead to a healthier bodily system. And you say, that's fucking crazy, bro. Why would water help me out, help my body out? Can you specify how water fucking improves my
Okay, Concrete, can you
biological
repeat his
system?
theory?
Yeah, but
Please?
concrete, it's not controversial, and it's pretty much almost universally understood that water is beneficial to.
And we would agree that electricity, and we would agree that electricity and our biology are not things that should mix on a consistent basis.
We have electricity in our body, Concrete.
I.e., fucking A, bro. I.e. microwaves, i.e. fucking lightning, i.e. direct current, right?
Huh?
Say IE again.
What?
Hey, so, hey, Concrete, you know that, like, science
think
experiment they
microwaves-
do with little kids where they get, like, 2 little electric, like, circuits to, like, make a muscle move? Just wondering, have you ever done that? Do you know how, like, muscles work? Just wondering.
Yeah.
You know
so what's up,
your
bro?
brain works on electricity. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, you said they
how-
don't mix, but I
how-
feel like it's all dependent on it.
No, perhaps yours doesn't, Concrete.
Wait, hold
Come
on,
tell
hold
us
on.
how yours
So are
works.
you saying? Wait, are you saying that there are reasonable levels of electricity that the human body can manage and deal with?
Yeah.
Well, you said they don't mix at all, so I'm like,
Well, if I overspoke in the heat of the moment, please forgive me. Right?
Oh, okay, I forgive you.
If that's what your contribution is that I was I made an overstatement or hyperbolic in my presentation.
What's your non-hyperbolic
Please forgive
statement then,
me.
Concrete? What's the non-hyperbolic statement? Can you give it?
Going from here, Ask Fox, do you have a substantive refutation or rebuttal to what I said?
To your overstatement?
You said that something was reasonable, but then didn't say what the reasonable thing was. So can you tell us
been paying attention.
Sugar's
You
exact
haven't
thing?
been paying.
Can you tell?
Excuse me.
I'm wondering
So
if you can repeat
apparently-
back what it is.
Excuse me. So apparently you haven't been paying attention to the conversation. Now,
I know
look,
what Sugar said.
wanna-
I'm wondering if you did.
Now, if you want a summary, listen, bro. If you want a summary of the conversation, Sugar is the one who initiated it, right? Concept forward. So if you needed to understand the gist of the conversation,
You're defending the Concrete. I think you can repeat it back to me, right?
inform you, right? Now, if you don't need this and you're just playing a gotcha, you're wasting everyone's time with this sophomoric form of argumentation. So please stop being a douchebag. You're wasting everyone's time.
I just need to make sure when you make claims like, oh, it seems reasonable, I'm just making sure that you actually know what he said. So what did he say? Like, what was his claim? His hypothesis,
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
What was it, Concrete? Can you not repeat it back? He seems pretty sure when you were yelling at Yuri. So what was it, Concrete?
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Go waste someone else.
You don't know what it is?
Concrete. Before, when someone has agreed with someone, you've said, hey, well, if that's the case and you agree with them, what you can repeat the argument, and when they weren't able to do so, you validated their statement.
I can set up an entire fucking hoops for you to jump through, right? Some hoops made out of fire.
Do it.
Some hoops made out of ding dongs. Some hoops made out of penises, right? But I'm not gonna fucking sit here and play that game with you.
Well,
you can
then-
build hoops if you want.
Can you do one made out of electricity?
I'd rather have a fucking conversation about the topic than the hoops of fire or the hoops of penises.
Without reverting to language games, sure, do it. I'm just asking if you know what he actually said and what you were defending. I'm just.
You don't know.
You don't?
You're just a headhunter, right, Concrete? You don't even care about what's right or wrong. You just want to take heads and be an assassin. right? Concrete?
It's just a chicken hawk hunting for a chicken. I'm a chicken hawk. I'm looking for a chicken.
Well, I'm glad we wasted 20 minutes listening to him scream for no reason.
Sugar, so the question is, are you there, Sugar?
Yeah.
How can we test if earthing mats work?
They've done, I don't know, 50 studies and counting on it. You know, they earth infants, premature babies. They've earthed them.
Yeah, can you link us to these studies?
Everybody and their mom. Yes, I do this all the time. Yes. There's documentaries about it, or people do studies in the documentary. Like I said, you know, more than enough threshold of very extremely influential people endorse this. America's Doctor endorses this.
I just wanted to see the study. Why do I feel it's gonna be like a study from one of those like on private or like creation science or something?
Wait, real quick. Sugar. Compared to placebo, it has to be better, by the way. Otherwise, it's not the earthing mat doing it, it's the placebo. So I hope whatever study you do, they have a placebo control. Okay.
Whatever study I do, there's literally hundreds.
Give us one.
100 studies. I have them. And I want to do the most recent ones because I love it because they, you know, it's blowing up and becoming so popular that they're coming out with a study every month.
Just,
you know, now
just show
basically.
us the study.
There you go. There's one.
Sugar. You have to follow this arbitrary standard that I've created. And if you don't, then you're wrong.
Okay, let's go through.
Okay,
I noticed Deepak Chopra is one of the researchers.
Wait, Sugar, this is having contact with the ground. I'm confused.
Yes, that is absolutely what an earthing mat. That is absolutely what an earthing mat is, bro.
The ground?
Yes, you can walk barefoot. You don't need to buy a fucking mat. You can just walk barefoot. You don't need to do it all the time either. You can just walk barefoot like, 30 minutes a day. It's like sunshine. You don't need to be sunbathing all the time.
Why do you personally own a mat then? Just take your shoes.
I own 7 mats. Oh, I walk barefoot outside
Why
too.
do you own 7 mats then? Just walk barefoot like you're saying. Like the study's telling you, just be on the ground.
For me, when I had my miraculous healing from brutal disease, a pivotal part of this was I was sleeping on a grounding sheet every night, and it's a big deal.
this study is already retarded.
It's done at the
super
Chopra
scientific
Institute, first of
studies.
all.
You don't even have to call it dumb, because it's like, well,
You're being
this isn't proving them.
completely. I don't know why you guys are so close-minded about
What
this.
the
I don't
fuck
know
is the
why this
Chopra
triggers you.
Center?
It's
I don't know why
already
this
biased.
What do you mean? Have you ever heard of Deepak Chopra? He's literally one of the best-selling authors of all time. Top 10 in the world, best-selling author. Yes, he took all his he took his hordes of money.
Have you seen
and
how many
decided,
Instagram followers he has?
He took his hordes. He took his hordes of money and
investor.
decided to invest it into scientifically proving things that he believes in. This isn't crazy. This is what people do.
The
That's
thing is,
fantastic.
Joel, all of these studies,
No, these are financed by a bunch of different groups across.
Sugar. The idea is that I can grant you every single one of these studies. It would just be stand on the ground. So why do you have mats?
What the
Sorry,
fuck?
okay,
What did the
this
Australians say?
This genius dude who worked in the cable industry. What happened is he was messing around with grounding wires. This is literally how it happened. He's a genius. He invented the first earthing mats. He was messing around with grounding wires because every single outlet has a wire that just goes straight to the ground because it helps. It helps. Let me finish. It helps electrical machines perform better.
Oh,
And
really?
it helps that is absolutely how it works.
No, it doesn't.
And so, not only does it help them perform better, it helps them not
Oh,
interfere
no.
with each other's electrical signals that they're putting out. Anyway, so one day he was messing around and he fell asleep on some of his wires. And he woke up and he like felt incredible. And he was like, "What the fuck? This is literally how it happened." And so then after that, he like started investigating like what exactly
cool.
happened to him. He started investigating what exactly happened to him, and then that's when he discovered, he was like, "Holy shit, the human body, of course." He was an electrical cablist. He was an electrician. And then he was like, "Oh my god, of course the human body must benefit from this."
Oh,
Now,
that's
you know, people in India and in the East and other people had known about this shit for forever. So they knew touching the earth was incredibly beneficial to the body, but he was the first one that scientifically was like, "Whoa." And then he invented the earthing mats. He's a genius. He's a smart dude.
So, sure. The thing is that I can point to at least 20 people that have seen the Loch Ness monster, right? I don't give a fuck about these anecdotes. Can you show me a study for specifically the grounding
These are
mat?
scientific studies. They
Oh,
pass,
I already
pass
Sugar, I
thresholds.
granted them.
They pass thresholds in the scientific community. This is
Sugar,
not fucking the
I
Loch Ness
granted
monster.
you every study. I grant you every
So
single
he
study.
wants.
Even though I could
All
break
right,
down
that's
those
fine.
then
studies,
I've won.
I
I've
can
won.
grant.
You
I can
granted
grant
me
all of
every
them.
study. I
Why?
win.
Why
What
do?
more do you want?
No, because I'm asking you. Just stand on the ground. That's all they're saying. Why do you have mats?
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, because it's inconvenient to walk around barefoot, especially in the winter.
But you're not walking around on the mat. You're still standing in one
You're
place.
still
You could just do
you're
that
putting
outside.
your feet on the mat as
Look,
well. You're still putting your barefoot on the mat.
This is so
don't have the
stupid.
mat.
We live in a modern society. Most of us spend a lot of time indoors. If you're at your job, it's indoors. It's not. Stop pretending like it's convenient for people to be walking around barefoot outside. That's not the society we live in. Thank God for
You're not
innovators.
walking on a mat when you're outside. I'm talking about inside.
Inside, you're not walking on the mat. You're just sitting on the mat.
You're sitting on the mat, bare butt.
Sure, you can do it a million different ways.
Sugar, so you're saying that this was done like without them knowing whether or not they were grounded or not, right?
Which study?
The one that you gave? I
I
mean,
linked 7. I linked 7.
are you
No,
are you
no.
saying you linked some studies where they knew that they were being grounded or not?
It's possible.
I think most of those links are
What
referring to the
use-
same single study, by the way.
What
You just
use-
found it in a bunch of different.
Wrong. It shows you haven't read them. All different studies.
What
done
use
this.
would the study be if they
Whoa.
knew if they were being grounded?
That's a different type of study. Yeah, it's not a double blind then. Yeah.
Right.
Double blind studies aren't
So you
the
want a
only
biased
studies,
study?
Tom. You recognize Tom, you recognize that double blind studies aren't the only kind of scientifically
No, but they
accepted
happen to
study,
be the
right?
best.
Right. So you're
but here's a double blind one if you want.
But this is claiming to be double blind, right?
There are many double blind that they've done. Yeah, I've linked a couple double blind.
The
Here's
first
another
one that you linked is a double blind. Now tell me, Sugar, part of the earthing process, right, was a mat that they slept on.
I'm sorry. Yeah, this is very easy. You could have them sleep on a mat that's not plugged into a grounding wire, or have them sleep on a mat that is plugged into a grounding wire. It'd actually be a very easy placebo to do. As far as placebos go, I really can't.
How is it
think of an
grounded
easier-
then?
I just told you. What are you talking about? If it's plugged in the grounding wire, then you're grounded. If it's not, you're not grounded. And they've a test to see if it's working.
Right, but they're saying that their sleep was improved from being grounded.
Ba-boom.
You telling me that this is somehow a double blind, but they don't notice that one of their electrical sockets has this long cord going from their fucking bed to the fucking ground?
Obviously, in this study, they to replicate a placebo. And Tom, I can't believe you've picked this. This is so stupid. Yes, it would literally be extremely easy to create a placebo for a grounding mat. I personally, if I was running the study, it would be the easiest thing in the entire world. As far as placebos go, this is literally one of the easiest ones to create ever. No, yeah.
Yeah, this is claiming that these people, because of earthing mats, were able to increase performance And almost in some cases do double the amounts of massages per day.
Boom. Nice.
That's retarded.
Why? Why is that retarded?
I mean, it's just on just common sense. It's fucking retarded.
Oh, come on, bro. You can make a better argument than that.
I might actually have to concede this last study.
Do
finally
you
gave
think
a
that
good
there's
study.
anything you could do to someone to help them give double massages? Do you think if you improve someone's sleep who wasn't sleeping good, that would help them double massages? Do you think that if you change someone's diet and had them eat avocados and vegetables every day instead of like fucking cereal, that would help them give double massages? Do you think that if you de-stressed someone and taught them ways to really live with less anxiety, that would help them
Do you
give double massages?
Are any of these studies done by like an actual university?
Do you think if a person lost 50 pounds and that would give them double massages?
Financial
Yes.
support and disclosures. This project was funded by EarthFX Incorporated, and the grounding products were donated by www.earthing.com. EarthFX and Earth.
Where the fuck do you think anyone gets funding for scientific studies? Okay, every pharmaceutical study ever done was funded by pharmaceutical companies. This is how science works, Tom. There aren't people that just sit around and want to spend $1 million on some study that doesn't have the fuck to do with their incentives.
Actually, there are. They're called
These arguments are so shit for you. I expect so much more from you, Tom.
Philanthropist.
I agree. Sugar's right, Tom.
Well,
These
just
are weak-ass
present a study from a non-biased source.
This
I don't know what that
SCIRP
means.
website
I don't
has
think
kind
you
of a shady
understand how
past,
funding
Sugar.
scientific research happens. It happens
Sugar,
for
do
people
you know what the
who are
NS
invested in getting products to market. That's why it happens.
No.
Sugar, do you
That's
know what
why
the
you
NSF
need the
is?
studies. That's why you need the
That's
studies.
what makes a bad study.
Or Sugar, do you know what the NSF
Then
is?
so then every pharmaceutical study ever done is a bad study?
No.
Oh, so then why are you contradicting yourself?
Sugar, why did you post an article behind a paywall?
What difference would that make with
Because you didn't
regards to
read
the
it.
quality?
Because I can't read
I've
it.
posted 8 articles. I've not read them all today. I've read most of them, or a lot of them in the past.
So do you have access to journals.sagepub? Do you pay them?
Sugar,
No.
Sugar, I love when you BTFO the whole room, yo. Good work.
Well, when you have truth on your side, it's not hard.
Sugar, did you
It really
pay?
isn't.
Sugar, did you pay $38 to SagePub so that you can access this article you posted?
I did not. I've
So
posted
what
8
the
articles.
fuck do you know
That
about
one
what's in
apparently
it?
had a paywall. No, I'm just posting. He said
You're
I'm
just posting
articles.
random shit?
These aren't random. These are all scientifically
It's behind a
threshold
paywall, so how do you know what's
passing
in it?
evidence. Scientific threshold past evidence for that why earthing is real.
Sugar, if it's behind a paywall and you haven't read it, how do you know what's actually in it?
I'm telling you right now, I'm just posting scientific articles proving the efficacy
That you
of
have
the
not
earthing.
read. It's the same shit you've been doing for like 2 years now.
I would love to know.
Can you
I've read
criticize
most
the
of these articles. There's so
I
so many
can't
at this point. I'm
criticize the
basically-
article because I'm not paying $38 to
Where is
unlock
that
it.
echo coming from?
You can't criticize the articles.
Wait,
Stop trying to
so-
criticize
The
Sugar.
onus is on Sugar to post the full article. If I can't read the article he's trying to post to prove his point, then I can just ignore it.
So one of the articles was actually good. I read the abstract and I was like, oh, maybe Sugar's right. Because it's saying that it actually helped these people getting like massages. But then I read it, like the full article, and I was like, oh wait, this is only for people actually getting TENS, which is when they're actually shocking your entire body with electricity. So grounding when they're shocking your entire body with electricity is actually good for you. That's all this study shows. So
So
I'm
that
asking
would show.
Which
Wait, hold
which
on.
study is that? Which one did you read? Which one?
that
Hold
one's
on,
the
that
script
would-
one.
What
Look,
was it called? What was the
Osfox.
title? What was the title?
It's from Script.
Osfox, that would be
I
a
reposted as
clear indicator of the value of the fucking grounding pad. if you
No.
are engaged in high frequency shocking to the point where you can measure it, and if the grounding pad helped you with regards to that, then the case is clear. Like, I don't understand. Where do we go from here? Are you saying now the grounding pad doesn't work? Because you can't make that claim.
For someone that's like claims to like have degrees and stuff, I think you should know that this
Oh my
doesn't
God,
prove
dude!
that
Just sit
Let him
grounding pad.
finish.
This
Look,
doesn't
sit on
prove.
the point.
This doesn't prove that grounding.
Time out,
this
time out,
doesn't
you
prove-
Let him
lying,
finish.
time out, you lying piece of shit, okay? No,
God.
nowhere in this fucking study does it talk about these people. They were grounded. They slept on earthing mats.
Okay, so
That's the only fucking difference in this double-blind, placebo-controlled study between the massage therapist and the control group and the other group.
Yelling.
I'm gonna read it for you. So, earthing equipment and method. The grounding equipment that was provided by earthing.com Palm Beach, which included the conductive mats, pillows, and translucent electric nerve stimulation, which is the TENS, which is the electrical shock machine. Okay. So
Why do you discredit the other shit that they're
Hold on,
stuff?
Sugar.
Because
You let him
saying
finish.
that the electrical, that the nerve stimulation machine was good with the grounding.
I'm not seeing anything about
Wait,
TNS.
hold on,
What are the acronyms for this treatment? What did you say was?
TENS. It's in the article that I relinked it for you. You can look at the PDF. That's also.
It's a
I'm
fucking
reading the full
TENS machine.
PDF.
Yeah, Sugar. I want him to explain.
I don't even know what a TENS machine is.
Excuse me. 1 second. Fucking Sugar. Shit.
No, there is nothing of a TENS machine in this
Please,
study.
Sugar, shut the fuck up for 5 seconds, bro.
Jesus, what does that echo?
Yeah, so I want Osfox to explain why the electroshock that the people were administered is some sort of negation of the claim that it was effective. What is this? What turns on the fact that they were shocked? Please explain.
Yeah, I'll get to you. I just need to link this so Sugar knows that it's actually in the article, right?
It's a double-blind study. They didn't know if they were being electrically shocked repeatedly or not.
No,
I have not seen anything about them being electrically shocked.
Yeah. So I gave you the exact paragraph in the study, right? The PDF. Again, I linked it again. You can look at the last link I posted and just go to the PDF of that source that you cited, and it's in there. And it explains like the methodology of the full thing, right?
Problem that people were shocked.
Oh yeah, you
was
stupid
effective.
motherfucker! You stupid motherfucker!
Step away
This
from
is just no. Everyone, shut the fuck up. This is just a
Such a
patch.
fucking bitch.
This is just a patch that plugs into the grounding wire. There was no TENS machine. This is just so. This is just no. You shut the fuck up. This guy needs to be owned right now. The only thing that happened in this study was earthing stuff. There was nothing else. There was no TENS machine. They're referring to a patch that plugs into a wire. All right, they sell them on their website.
So if
at this place.
so if I look up a translucent electrical nerve stimulation, okay, you could have done this yourself. You said
It doesn't say that anywhere. It says in just what you posted.
Can you not read?
It says.
Look,
I don't think you understand. I don't think you
gassing?
understand. I don't think you understand. I'm saying translucent electrical nerve stimulation patches and wires. So they take the patch that I'm sure that this patch they use in other treatments. They'll hook these patch up to other machines, right? Electrical machines or whatever. In this sense, they just took the patch and plugged it into a grounding wire. That's all they did. So yes, I'm sure that you can plug these patches into other like electrical machine stimulation things, whatever. In this study, they did not do that. They just put it into a grounding wire. All right, motherfucker.
Wait, so for one, you wouldn't use a TENS
damn,
to
it's
power
so hard dealing with fucking idiots.
For one, you wouldn't use a TENS.
Yes,
Why would you use a-
read the study. Read exactly what they did. All right,
my
they didn't give
God.
anybody TENS.
I mean, why? For
Yes.
one, I don't know why you're telling me to read the study when you didn't even know they mentioned TENS in this. Then I cited it for you. You still couldn't find it, and then I showed you a picture of it, and you still didn't notice. And then I finally was like, "Are you sure? Am I being gaslit?" And then you finally read it.
They used patches. Jesus, I can't say this enough. They used patches.
The patches go on
motherfucker.
the skin. The patches go on your skin.
Yes, I know. And they plug them
Which
into
you
the
agreed on the
grounding
skin.
wire.
What?
So once again, yes, your point. So once again, your point means nothing. You misread everything, and this is a great grounding study, and you have to give credit where credit's due.
Wait, you agreed it goes on the skin. I thought you said it goes on the mat.
No,
Which
you
one
don't
is?
understand. You don't understand. Deepak Chopra has given this his seal of approval, and
Is
the
there a
result
walkie-talkie in someone's background?
is the result to the situation. Just pay attention.
Oh, it's Gus. Gus, your mic is really soft right now.
People?
What?
Your Gus is really soft, and is it just me, or is he coming in like really bad?
It's bad.
It's okay to me.
But for me, it's just like really
Although
low and like hard to hear.
The rubbing around is getting.
Trying to get it fucking set up because I'm trying to get people to stop complaining. So I'm moving it around, which is making its own noise. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yes.
I couldn't hear you before. I thought like it was. I couldn't even tell it was you. I had to look
Is
at who was
that
talking.
better?
Yes.
Then please carry on.
Sugar, what's it like to have schooled these illiterates on science?
Not gonna lie, it feels
Oh,
good,
shit.
man. I'm feeling real good right now. Feeling real righteous. Feeling very confident.
They had no idea they were talking about it, right?
I am so confident in everything. I'm literally, it's very easy for me. I just want to spread the word to people. That's
You're
it.
all a
I just
bunch
want
of
to
dumb
spread. I
thinkers.
just want to
Yeah,
spread
you're
knowledge.
fucking spreading
I take
something, all right.
pleasure.
What?
I take pleasure in spreading knowledge.
Oh God, listen to this. Great. Well, anytime you've got any. Hey, Sugar, do you know what they call
Someone just dropped the
alternative
N-bomb?
medicine that actually works? They call it medicine. Just so you know.
Sugar, do you have any studies done by like a university?
The one he looked technically is, to be fair.
I'll look. I think there was one done by Stanford on the premature babies. I'll find that one.
Premature babies and grounding mats?
Oh yeah, they hooked up a shit ton of premature babies to grounding mats. That's right.
That sounds unethical.
I would love to read that study.
Totally ethical, and the babies that had the earthing mats did the
to read
best.
that study.
Healed the
Now,
best.
I would really like to see that study, Sugar.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think that's going to be mandatory today.
Did they? So it sounds like you might know something about the study then, Sugar. Were they inside or outside the incubation? What do they call?
Inside.
Okay, so at least there's that.
At least Sugar believes that preemies need incubation.
Yep, so there's one redeeming quality.
No, just feed them avocados.
I mean, their lungs are an amorphous jelly, but I'm sure that if you ground them enough, they can come out. Avocados have too much trans fat. No eat. Avocados don't have trans fat. No.
Sugar with the premature babies taking LASIK while being grounded.
So here you go. You want university? Is that what
Yeah.
Tom said? And you guys wanted prenatal babies.
I want a real university,
that
not
wasn't
like
necessary.
Yeah, well, here you
DeVry.
go. Here is what's this university? Oh, here's Pennsylvania State, Penn State in their children's hospital. All right. Boom. Here you go. And the babies, the preemies that had the earthing.
I got $5.
The preemies that had the earthing did much better, of course.
I got $5 says either that study doesn't say what he thinks it says, or there's something that can't be fucking extricated from the fact that they were in incubators.
Conclusion. the
Yes, all these
electrical
hundreds of
environment-
studies are clearly all biased and
Sugar.
Conclusion.
This is the one done by
electrical
Stanford?
environment affects autonomous
Penn
balance,
State.
e.g. improves VT and may improve resilience to Okay, so what's a VT? Low what vagal tone? The fuck is low
Vagal
Vagal
tone?
nerve tone.
Yeah,
Oh,
vagal
vagal.
tone. Whatever the fuck that.
Yeah, what's that?
EG, what's EG?
Let's ask Sugar.
Electrical grounding
I
increases.
think it has to do with the vagus nerve.
You got it.
So electrical grounding affects.
What's the vagus nerve?
I mean, it sounds like it's just gonna be like saying like electrical grounding helps to improve like something that's just like sort of negligible, like grounding. It improves grounding, and then Sugar sees improves, and he's like, "See,
This is Penn State telling you when a human body is exposed to alternating EMFs, because the children are in these electric environments that will have a lot of EMFs. A voltage is induced on the skin surface. However, when the body is conductively connected to the electrical ground, that's an earthing, Matt, the skin potential is dissipated. This is Penn fucking State on pre-infant babies. You think these people fuck around?
Yeah, I
You think these people would fuck around with science? Where are all you haters now? Where are you fucking haters right now? Get
no
wrecked. Get fucking wrecked.
No one's left. Sugar.
That's right. We've all fled.
God, it's so hard owning people. These
We've all
fucking intellectual champions that think they're smart and can't figure out health.
So Sugar, so again, this would support you having a grounding mat at home, but it does seem that electrical helps, helps the cranial nerve, which reduces stress in babies.
Yes, and prevents the body from electrical radiation, which causes reactions.
Where does
on
it
our
say that
skin.
in the study?
Says right. I just read it for you verbatim. When a human body is exposed to alternating EMFs, a voltage is induced on the skin surface. Negative voltage is harmful to these pre-babies. That's why they were experimenting with this. Because when you have a preemie, you got to put them in the fucking little electric, incubator, and there's a lot of EMFs in that, and they know that that can be harmful to babies. So they were like, what's something that we could do here? All right, so they put them on grounding mats, right? And then they said the skin potential, they call this detrimental electrical charge a potential, right? And they say it dissipates.
No, go back. Did you say EMF? Because I can't find EMF. I can't find EMF in the abstract.
Yes, you just go. All I did was click on.
If you click on full text and scroll down, there's a paragraph.
All I did was click on full text. Thank you.
Sugar sound like
It's
you.
unbelievable.
Sugar sound like you're about to bust one on y'all. Do y'all know what bust one on y'all means?
No, Concrete, explain it to us.
I'd rather not.
Is it a
Concrete, did you know that the word bus has a T?
Yeah, so do you understand that different regions have their own patois?
No, he means bus.
Sugar,
you know
isn't
what he
this-
rides every.
Isn't this study basically just saying that when you put a preemie in an incubation chamber, that the electric fields can be dissipated by ground?
Yeah, and also it benefited the
Why
vagus
is
nerve. But
that-
yes, those
Hold
two
on, no,
things. Yes.
Why is that interesting for normal healthy adults? One, who don't have vulnerable vagal nerves. Two, who aren't inside a preemie incubation chamber.
Well, look, it's not just the preemie incubation chamber. It's. I mean, the significance of that is it's showing that there is a biological effect of EM fields, right? So
we've known that for a long time.
Direct exposure to a strong EM field is disanalogous to what the average adult experiences.
well, why do you think that the field in a preemie chamber is significantly higher than what you'd experience by sitting next to a Wi-Fi router or living next to high voltage power lines or any other number of things that you experience in your day?
Driving in a car. There's a lot of EMFs in apartments. Yeah.
Hold on, I have Sugar turned down to like 50%, and he's still horrifyingly loud. So get away from your mic, dum dum. And to talk to Vade, well, it's a matter of scale, right? So again, we're not premature babies. And two,
Look, don't be
we're not.
condescending.
Some of us.
Look, let's not be condescending. That's not
Yeah,
very
this-
nice.
So we're
This is-
not premature babies, and we're not near
An incubator.
an electric 24 hours a day for
No,
months.
actually, most people are near EM or devices that generate EM fields.
We are near
all day.
devices that generate near EM fields. Sure.
Well, what's the difference?
I mean,
I don't know as to whether the EM field generated by the devices that we're near on a day-to-day basis are nearly as strong as those produced by an incubator. And then that also doesn't address the disanalogy of we are not preemie babies. We're adults.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a negative biological effect from the exposure to EM fields.
Yeah, but that also means that this study doesn't show that the average healthy adult needs to worry about EM fields.
No.
They absolutely do. But less so. Absolutely right. The adult body is much more, protected against these fields. But then I refer you to the 100 other studies that have been done showing all the other benefits besides just that. So there you go.
Well,
And
I
also
didn't
this study, the
see
Penn
you
State,
present
and this
hundreds of
Penn
other
State, this
studies,
Penn
but
State
wasn't
study
the
shows.
prior study that you presented by like Deepak Chopra or something.
There's hundreds done, and
It's a
this study
wonderful
also
study.
this study
Gorgeous
does
study.
credit. This study does credit the earthing with improvements in the vagus nerve for these infants.
This
these
is
preemies.
only.
Yeah,
It's
sugar.
There was only a
it's grounded
That's
hold on.
not
There was only a
interesting.
sample
Hold on.
size of 26.
Hold real quick. It's not interesting that they credit improvements in the vagus nerve because the whole idea is that constant exposure to electromagnetic fields in a body as fragile as that of a premature baby can be harmful to things like their nervous system, which run on electricity principally.
Okay, well, there's
So,
100 other studies that have been
the
done showing all the
idea,
benefits.
hold on,
So
the
I don't know why you're
exact,
still
hold on,
so resistant to this idea.
sugar, the exact thing you would expect if something like grounding prevented damage from electromagnetic fields would be improvement in the vagus nerve. That's not a knock-on positive effect, like for instance, increased robustness of some other unrelated biological system.
Well, the reason the vagus nerve is affected in preemies is because of the stress that these electrical potentials in the skin cause. So you have this increase in, like stress hormones, like norepinephrine and adrenaline, and those negatively affect the body. So I think what isn't substantiated by this study, but you can extrapolate, is that exposure to EM fields creates
What? What do you
potential.
mean extrapolate? You mean extract? Extract?
I think you mean
Do
to
you
say
not know what the
infer,
word
right?
extrapolate means,
Holy
Concrete?
fuck, concrete.
Extrapolate is an apt term. It's fine.
Extrapolate.
It's better than linguistical. Am I right?
Excuse
Would
me.
you shut up and let him
Extrapolate.
answer us?
Excuse me.
Is
Extrapolate
it a
would have been
massive
applied to
strap-on?
other circumstances, right? But what
Big
he meant
black
to say
penis.
was extract,
No, you don't extract. Extrapolation is
not extrapolate.
No, that's not what
He meant-
extrapolation
he
is.
Well,
meant
actually, there's a
extrapolate. He was
direct
saying
there's a
extrapolate
there's a
it to,
direct
like,
horrible
adults.
disanalogy here where extract would mean to derive directly from the contents of the study, whereas extrapolate would mean, I think infer would be better, but
It's extend to-
extrapolate seems to imply that you take the information from the study, remove it from its context, and infer new information,
No,
and the
that's
possibility.
not
thereof.
extrapolate.
You're fucking retarded, dude. So
Extrapolate
anyway,
would be to
don't
take-
so
take
so
the
anyway,
principles
like so what
of,
the idea is that these EM fields, right, create this chronic stress condition in all living organisms, and that perhaps grounding can alleviate some of that stress and improve health. But I think
we
that
have to
grounding
look at that,
probably is not even sufficient because the rate of exposure is constant and grounding is relatively minimal as a preventative measure. So probably grounding is useless for adults, but maybe if you do it all day.
I think evolutionarily it'd be weird if we were incredibly vulnerable to EM fields when we're living on an EM field.
Well, it's different. It's by
We
order.
live on an Earth that's
Both in
70%
wavelength
water.
and intensity.
If grounding doesn't work, how come the Earth is grounded?
Oh, fuck.
70% water. Bodies are 70%
I mean,
water.
sharks
Don't get you too much water.
Sharks have a sensitivity to EM fields. They're able to put it to use, particularly the hammerhead shark. That
all I know is
those eyes
By
that are on either end
sensitivity,
of the
I meant
hammer's
like
head.
it kills.
all I
That's
know
okay.
is Bill
I wasn't
Nye.
fucking talking
Bill
or
Nye
anything.
said it was bullshit.
You
so-
fucking rude cunts.
Oh,
Oh, what was that, Gus? Were you talking?
I realize being
what were you
all of
saying, Gus?
18 years old and full of fucking semen, you have the need to talk constantly.
Here is
I'm not sure what. Hold on.
Have you guys ever heard of Healthline? It is a very mainstream major. It's like it's like Mayo Clinic's biggest competitor, or whatever.
Oh, it's like Mayo Clinic, but better.
They endorse grounding. All right. So once again, it's so. This isn't even like that controversial.
Oh god. Whatever.
Like I don't have to tell you.
Well, you know, if
I've got to
it's
say, God also endorses grounding. I believe a lot of churches are grounded.
Oh, I know Simon does. Simon endorses grounding. Simon, who is the Pope of bad jokes, he endorses grounding.
Yeah, ground and pound them. That's what I
Yeah,
say.
pretty much. Yeah.
My children are
Sugar.
grounded all the time. They should be healthier than any.
Sugar, why do you feel the need to use all these things when you could simply just make the statement? When you remove static electricity from a person, it has a tendency to remove static electricity from a person. And since static electricity can have harmful effects on a person, removing static electricity is a good thing. That's all you had to fucking say.
It's a total inaccurate and ignorant and horrible
All you
mischaracterization of
had to
this whole
say
argument.
was remove static electricity from a body is
No one
good,
believes
especially
the
when
words-
it's a little premature baby.
No one believes the words that are coming out of your mouth right now. It's obviously a farce.
Static electricity is the only thing that those mats do, Sugar. The only thing those mats do.
Just because you
is
say
remove static
words without
electricity
any
from the body.
scientific backing.
That's all they do. That's all they do is to remove static electricity. That's all
EMFs
they
are
do.
different than static electricity.
All they do is remove a little collection of static electricity. That's all they do. You know what you can do? You can get the same result by walking over to any 120 volt electrical outlet and hovering your finger over the openings for about 10 seconds. You get the same result.
I'm not engaging with you. You're wrong. You're retarded. I've linked a dozen scientific
Stop
evidence
being ableist,
proof
Sugar.
showing it does way more than that. And there's nothing. Jesus.
Hey, Sugar, don't be ableist.
That's also true.
Spend 5 minutes on your mat, Sugar. That might help.
Get good and grounded.
Yeah, gonna be honest. The Healthline one, after reading a few of the abstracts from these, yeah, seems.
I mean, we've known that electricity in too high concentrations over too long a time is bad for us. We know that. And I don't just mean like if you stick your fucking dick in a light socket or something. I mean like living near heavy power lines and stuff like that. That's a good way to get cancer a little too early than you might want, assuming you
I
would
don't
want it
think
at any
that's ever
time.
been substantiated.
I think I will grant you that there are those who still dispute it. I'm not so sure that I would trust the motives of those who do.
Like there are a lot worse things. For instance, like there are a lot worse things. Like for instance, living near pig farms has a much higher correlation.
Well, okay, that's like saying being punched in the face twice is worse than being punched in the face once. And you're right, except it's got nothing to do with what I said. The fact that there are places that you can live that are worse than power lines doesn't change the fact that living near high voltage power lines is probably
You
not
need to
good
mute
for
your
you.
mic if you're not speaking, Cat. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree
Sugar.
with Gus. I don't
There's
remember the studies, but
Because like I said earlier, Sugar, like I already agreed grounding probably has some like positive things, like whatever, right? I just don't know if you being on a mat does anything, considering like most floors are like pretty, conductive and pretty grounded over. So I'm just like I don't know why you just
Wow,
want to
we've come
stand.
a long way. Oh my God, you're now admitting that earthing does something. Wow.
So no. If I scroll up, I'll see the exact timestamp that I said this. If I scroll all the way
Yeah, we
up.
just think it's negligible. You think that you standing on a mat is allow you to do twice as many massages. You're retarded.
Yeah.
let's explore.
Didn't Sugar tell
study.
Molly that she should buy an earthing mat because of her cancer?
So the original study that you posted, right? That I was like, yeah, I feel like grounding probably has a good effect. Was at 6:27 for me, and now it's 7:05. So I admitted this over half an hour ago that grounding probably has some positive effects. With the kid thing, most people in the room said, oh yeah, it probably has some positive effects. I just don't know if having a mat is affecting you any more than having your feet on the ground.
Look, this is a fine discussion. Yeah, I have no problem discussing the degrees of efficacy.
It's just
That's definitely a mystery. Sorry. Having your feet on the ground is actually, I think, better. As someone who does a lot of both, I think it's better to have your feet on the ground.
Flying and having your feet on the ground.
But I don't know what you're trying to say. Anyways, I'm glad that we're all agreeing that it has some effect. That's great. And as personally, I think it has a tremendous effect. I'm a big advocate.
If you work next to like electrical magnets all day, you should probably ground yourself.
I can tell you that I once had an incurable disease, and using this, among other things, complete regeneration of my own vagus nerve.
That's a completely different claim.
It's claims like that, and the words that you use, like tremendous effects,
that is absolute truth.
that bring upon the pushback that you get from us. That's why.
I literally just told you the truth. I literally just told you the truth. Complete vagus nerve regeneration after having a broken down vagus nerve. And there's a lot of people on this earth today that also have broken down nervous systems, and I just want to help them. That's all.
Sugar, I'm curious. Can you tell me what the purpose of a ground wire is?
It does a number of functions in the electrical system. First of all, none of this is, super clear. It's sort of a mystery, but a lot of it is a mystery. One of the things it
Sugar,
does.
none of this is a mystery. I'm not asking you about the body. I'm asking you what the purpose of a ground wire is. Like, the little green thing that's hooked to an electrical outlet.
Electrical systems and electricity in general, electrical currents. There's a lot of mystery involved. What are you talking about? But
Right.
yeah.
So, Sugar, I'm gonna ask this question again. It's a very simple question. When you hook up a 120 volt outlet to a 120 volt 10-2 power supply, there are 3 wires wrapped in a little bit of rubber. Right. One wire is white. One wire is black. One wire is green. Right, the black wire is the power wire, the white wire is the neutral or return wire, and then there's a green one called a ground wire. All those ground wires come together in an electrical box, right, which is where all your breakers are, and then those wires are hooked to a pole that goes into the ground. What is the purpose, Sugar, of the ground wire?
It has a couple purposes. They've found the reason that every outlet has a grounding wire. They found that electrical systems perform optimally when they're grounded, so that's connected to the earth.
No.
They found that
no, that's not the
there's
purpose
less
of the ground wire.
there's less there's less interference among electrical systems. So if you have a computer next to a speaker, these electrical waves can interfere with each other. But for whatever reason, when they're grounded, they don't. So that's one of the reasons.
Not for whatever reason, Sugar. A ground wire serves the purpose of being a reservoir for an electrical system. When there is an overabundance of electricity present inside the system, it is directed from the system through the ground wire into the ground, where it is diffused harmlessly. Do you understand what I just said?
That is one of the functions. That is not the only. That is not the only reason they do it.
That is the only
No, you're wrong.
of a ground wire. The reason we have ground wires on houses,
has
Sugar, is
multiple
so when
functions.
your
Okay, I'll show
house
you
is
right now.
for instance, say when your house is hit by lightning, right, would cause a huge buildup of electricity in the electrical system inside the house, which fires. So we mandated a while ago, many years ago, that all houses had to have grounding systems. And what that did was that prevented an excess amount of electricity in the electrical system from zapping out of the neutral return wire, right,
and creating a fire. Because if you don't have a ground in a system and it's hit by lightning, what will happen is it'll go through the power wire, go into the return wire, and then there will be too much electricity in there. So it will literally zap out of the copper wire in just any direction it can, right? And high voltage electricity, like 120, 240, can start fires relatively quickly. Okay, now the reason I asked you that, Sugar, is because when we talk about grounding, the only thing a grounding mat is a mat that you lay on that would serve the same purpose as the grounding wire in your house, as a reservoir to remove excess buildup of electrical current inside the body. Now, sometimes bodies do develop excess amounts of electrical current. It's called a static discharge. So for instance, if you're walking around and you've got socks on and you rub your feet on the carpet, you'll pick up electricity in your body, and then you can go to your little brother and zap him and it'll go ow. And sometimes there's enough there where you can actually see the electricity leave your body in the form of a blue spark. It's really fucking cool, right? So all the grounding mat does is direct that excess electrical buildup in a body to diffuse itself in the earth harmlessly. So what your claim is that there is a benefit to having excess amounts of electricity removed from your body in a harmless way. Well, gee, Sugar, that's not a very big claim, is it?
No, I don't even want to engage with you. What? I'm so
Yeah,
tempted
I
to.
know.
I'm not.
Science, yeah, I know. Engaging with, a basic explanation, when you remove all the acronyms and all the scientific jargon and you just reduce it to something extremely simple that the entire room can understand, why would you want to engage with that? Because I don't know, it just proves that what you're saying is basically a trivial thing.
No one in this room agrees with you that all electrical grounding
Really?
does
No one
is
in
get
this
rid of
room agrees
get
with
rid of
me?
static electricity in the human body. No one agrees
Really?
with that.
No one
Yes.
agrees with me? There's not a single person in this. Are you sure you want to make that claim,
Get
Sugar?
one person. Get one person to say that.
Are you sure?
Well, I
Are you
don't
sure,
think that's
Sugar?
Kathleen's claim. Well, I don't think that's Kathleen's claim, though, right? Because Kathleen wouldn't make the claim that you can just ground like static electricity, right? Because there's obviously the reason why we have grounding ports on our outlet, right? Is for like high capacity things like like work tools. A lot of times have like a grounding prong at the end of it, right? So it can ground like actual current and electricity. So not just static electricity, but all grounding mats do. They can ground static electricity and other forms of electricity. Oh yeah, I think that's her
Yeah,
claim.
all I'm saying is that what a grounding mat does is act in the same way. So a welder, like, so Yuri brings up an idea. So a high capacity thing like a welder, right? So when you turn on a welder, Sugar, there's this big fucking wire that's connected to a thing that looks like a car jump starter that you have to put onto a gigantic piece of metal that's attached to the ground. If you don't do that, you're gonna be fucked, right? Your welder's gonna explode, and that would be very, very bad, right? So all a grounding mat does is do the same very minor basic thing, right? It's just a scaled down version of what that welding ground, all the things, all it's doing is when
Yeah. Okay. To
an
break down your
abundance of
claims,
electricity
you're rambling and repeating.
is that when
To
an
break down your
abundance of
claims,
electricity is present in a system,
you're just
that a
repeating and
grounding
rambling.
wire, which acts as a reservoir, right?
I've said this
Acts as a
7
reservoir.
times.
That's an important word, reservoir. We all know what a
Wrap it
reservoir
up.
is, something that collects excess stuff, right? And then that system allows the excess electricity in any given closed or open electrical system to be diffused in a non-harmful manner. See, and I didn't even need to link a study for that.
So much bad language in that.
To refute one of your claims that just on
Yeah.
electrical systems like your TV. Let me listen to you speak. Let me speak. Just to refute your thing about electrical systems like a TV when you plug it in. I posted you an electrician article telling you about there's 5 reasons that they have grounding wires. All right. 1, yes, to protect against electrical overload. That's what you're talking about. 2, helps direct electricity. Having your electrical system grounded means you will make it easier for power to be directed straight wherever you need it. Did you know that? How about stabilizes?
Yeah, I did.
How about stabilizes voltage levels? A grounded electrical system makes it easier for the right amount of power to be distributed to all the right places. Did you know that?
Mhm.
How about the Earth is the best conductor?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, sugar.
That's,
Everything that
hang on
you
a minute.
just said.
I don't think we're considering the electric universe theory here.
Yeah.
Can somebody just
Um,
pay attention to that?
Sugar, everything that you just said is merely a byproduct of what I said, because every single process you just identified is merely the result of removing excess electricity from a closed system. When you remove excess electricity from a closed system, the alternating current, the oscillation, the waves in there will function better because they are not competing with a buildup of electricity that the system cannot get rid of. So yeah, Sugar, everything you just said is true, and it's all a byproduct of the basic explanation that I gave. You want to know how I know this stuff, Sugar? Because my very first real professional job was making sure that electricians didn't get blown up by big electrical currents. I was a safety dude, right? The guy that ran around and made sure you had your hard hat on and that, you weren't messing with live wire because, electricians tend to want to take shortcuts, right? So they'll play with live wires.
That's because they're not grounding. They don't stand on grounding sheets, you see. That's why they get
And, grounding
grounding
was...
sheets will increase your IQ by at least 20 points.
Yeah, grounding was a big thing, Sugar. So, for instance, when we were doing these big commercial things, right, we'd have to go up in these big machines outside, to take you up in the air, right? And you'd have to be working on sometimes, high voltage
They're called
electricity.
airplanes.
And
Big things.
yeah, they're called air things. Yeah, and those oftentimes we're working around power lines. Now, even when you cut a power line off, right, there's still a lot of resistance in there, right? So you still have to get grounded. So we had these big, expensive things that would hook to your body, right? And what you would do is you would hook that to the machine, and then at the bottom of the machine, the machine would have this big pole that gets stuck in the ground, right? Because as you said, the Earth is the best conductor, right? So that was just a gigantic, extremely expensive, very professional grounding mat.
Surely the wire is a better conductor than the earth.
I don't agree with anything you're saying.
Well, you don't have to agree, Sugar, because you don't know a damn thing about electricity. Not a damn fucking thing. The article that you just posted was educational to you, not to me.
You've said that we use grounding wires for only one reason. You admit now that we use it for multiple reasons.
No, Sugar, because everything you just said is a byproduct of what I said. So all they did was take what I said and space it out to all the actual things that it helps with. But the reason that it helps with all those things is because of what I said, so I didn't need to specify all that. All I needed to say was ground wires or reservoirs.
So since you, of course, read it and know so much electricity, let me ask you this. What is electrical noise?
I didn't.
What is electrical noise?
I did not read.
If you're an expert in electricity and everything, what is electrical noise?
Sugar, I didn't read your article. I'm not going to read your article.
What is electrical?
You know why?
What is electrical noise? What is electrical noise?
Sugar, just admit that article that you posted was educational to you.
No, I'm not. Yes, this is all educational to me. Yes.
Awesome. Now in that article, does it describe grounding?
What is electrical noise?
Well, hold on. We're going to concentrate on this one thing first, Sugar. In that article that you posted, right, does it use the word reservoir? I bet it does.
What is electrical noise?
Disturbance in voltage lines.
Okay, yes. Wait. Can you elaborate?
Get wrecked, Sugar.
Hold on. Can you elaborate?
This isn't even Sugar
No.
being wrecked because Kathleen
Because I'm not an
agrees
electrical
with the
engineer.
point that he made when she was cutting him off. So it's a bit weird that she was cutting him off if she agrees with what he said.
But what did Sugar bring up that was in contention with what Kathleen was saying?
No, the idea is that he was listing benefits, and she was like,
Wait, benefits of what?
wrong.
I'm gonna have,
No,
I'm gonna have
the
to,
reason that I
if I'm
cut
gonna
him
understand
off.
that, I'm gonna have to electrocute myself. Hang on a minute.
The
Make sure
reason
you
that I
ground
cut him
yourself
off.
before you do that, but
is because he kept
No,
trying
I'm
to
going
say
for the
that
opposite, so I can make myself stupid.
the reason that I cut him off was because he was trying to say that all these things that he mentioned were individual benefits. Well, they are beneficial, but they all are a result of what I said, so there was no need to elaborate.
This is after the fact, right?
That's what Sugar
You
said.
hadn't given your definition yet, and he was listing things. Then you said, "No,
Oh,
that's
oh, I did. I did give my definition prior to him bringing up this article, which is why he
this is
brought up
just
the article,
false."
because it thought it was going
I
to
don't know where you're
disprove what I
lying at this
said.
point.
I don't
I
even
don't know
know
where
who
you're lying
you
at this point
are.
because you specifically asked him a question, and then he started answering. He was like, "There's 3 reasons," and you were like, "No, no," and you wouldn't let him finish.
Whatever.
Yeah, kind of dead topic. I know.
Sugar, if you actually want to know something about electricity and grounding and electrical safety, I'll be happy to mail you my OSHA compliance books.
New
I don't have a
topic.
use for them
New
anymore.
topic.
I can do a step further. I can bring out my spec book we have to follow for power lines. If you,
What does that have to do with somebody earthing themselves on a?
What is this? What is this about twice as many massages? I guarantee you, if I hopped a
You hear my
motherfucker up
claim?
on, well, I think if I hopped a motherfucker up on high dose methamphetamine, that they could do twice as many massages.
Huh? Okay.
Oh, we're all agreed then. Fantastic.
Oh, are you saying that there's no way that just standing on a mat would make a person be able to do that? I would agree with you. Standing on a mat's not going to give somebody the energy to do twice as many things as they would be doing before. That would just be a
Okay, we
stupid
don't
claim
all
to
agree
make.
then.
In that case, you'd be wrong because the study proved that, and everyone agreed.
I don't believe it.
Wow, what a scientific conclusion you've reached.
Study was signed.
Listen, it was scientific. I know Sugar didn't read it. It was actually from a university, and that's why it was. That's why I was a little annoyed when you asked for a study with the university, and Sugar was like, "Oh, okay, I'll go find one." It's like, well, you already gave one. Maybe if you read the studies, you linked to Sugar.
The Chopra one? Chopra one?
Yeah. The one.
What university was that done by?
It was some bullshit state university named after a state.
University of California, Cal. Fucking Cal University.
I don't know
Holy
if it was
shit.
from Cal, but
Holy
What was
fucking
the
shit.
what was the name of the study done by
It was done by fucking
where
Cal.
Yeah,
where
you're right.
Berkeley.
It's University of
Oh,
California.
wait.
well, I mean, Cal Berkeley also has the University of
Not
California,
Cal
San
Berkeley,
Diego
sorry.
Berkeley has also, done, say, studies on the efficacy of, ghosts and the best way to remove spirits from your home. So when you just shout out the name of a university, that doesn't really mean anything, Sugar.
You don't think that Cal University has any esteem accreditation that comes with that, really?
That's not what I said at all, Sugar.
Cal's considered one of the best universities in our country.
Well, that's not really what I said, Sugar, now, was it? What I said is, when you just throw out the name of a university and you say, oh, well, because this university did it, it must be good. Well, this university has also done, studies on what are the best, incenses to burn to get rid of evil spirits in your home. So the name of the school doesn't really mean anything.
Have you got a link to that? Okay.
No, I'm not going to provide a link to that.
Get wrecked.
Wow, they measured everything. These Cal scientists, in conjunction with the Chopper Center, managed they did respiratory rate, heart rate, blood work, blood biomarkers, blood viscosity markers. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Sugar, I read that
ghosts, unfortunately.
Sugar, I read that that hippies who boof coffee tend to be able to do more massages than hippies who don't boof coffee.
Boof coffee?
Boof?
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, what do you mean by do more massages? Could you
Like
explain
snorting
what you mean?
it? Like
No,
I'm
like
reading the
boofing it.
conclusion- I'm
We
reading
don't
the
know what
conclusion.
boofing is. Please just tell us what
boofing.
boofing
Do you
is.
mean
Yeah,
getting
boof.
massages or doing massages?
Doing massages when they boofed coffee as opposed
We don't
to
know what
drinking
boofing
it.
means. Are you gonna tell us
it's
what boofing means?
oh boofing. Boofing is when you inject something into your asshole and keep it there for a while.
Yeah, remember the Supreme Court Justice Kavanaugh was boofing in college and shit. Also, I'm reading the conclusion. Nowhere does it say that they did twice as many massages. It shows that there was stress reduction in heart rate, respiratory rate, heart rate variability. There were lowering effects on blood velocity. There were ballistic blood velocity increases. There was inflammation markers all increased rapidly. This is their big conclusions. How many more massages they were able to do? I haven't even found that yet.
Sugar, you're right, but you need to learn how to read. It said reduced inflammation.
Yeah, well, increase. Yeah, something like that.
Don't say increase, because increase would have been bad.
Yeah, and nowhere does it say that they were able to do twice as many massages. I've not found that anywhere.
It's just in one of the tables.
I haven't reread it, but knowing you, Sugar, it might be there. So I don't know.
I'm looking at all the tables. They're all blood, inflammation.
They measured the amount of massages they were able to do in a day.
I haven't seen one table yet. I've looked through 10, 11 now. No, there's not one table that shows how many massages they were able to do, as far as I can see.
You're just not looking on the massage table.
Headphones, Sugar.
Landon is correct here. Please use headphones.
Sugar, when you and your girl have sex, do you do it on a grounding mat so that you can orgasm twice as many times?
What the fuck?
I've given girls some of the best sexual experiences of their life on my grounding mat. I completely, because girls get very anxious, especially during sex. I think grounding mat is one of my greatest secrets to pleasing a woman.
So you telling me all I have to do is buy a grounding mat?
Yes, Landon. Yes, and this is the best part. They don't even know it. They don't even know what's going on. They think that it's you that's giving them all this pleasure. They don't even realize that it's because they're earthing.
Just like how they don't know when you're recording them.
You already have a grounding mat in your house, Landon, I guarantee you. Do you have an electric warming blanket, Landon, anywhere in your house? One of those things you plug into the wall.
The only mention of massage in this entire study is saying that they didn't get a massage prior.
Yeah, there was no metric study of how many massages they were able to complete in a day.
To be fair, Sugar, you linked to like 7 studies, so they might
the
be
chopper
looking at
one.
the wrong one. Oh, we're talking about the script one.
Yeah.
That's why I read
Wait a second. You linked Deepak Chopra to prove your point, Sugar?
Yes, he's someone with a lot of money and is very interested in funding earthing studies, apparently.
Yeah, this is what Snooks is
Maybe
bringing
you've heard
up.
of Deepak Chopra. He's quite famous.
This is what Snooks is bringing up, Sugar. You need to get a lot better at what you cite, because maybe some of your claims are right, but because of the way you frame them, linking some random fucking guru, fucking Zen man that's like, hey, fucking touch your butthole, it makes you cure. And then you talk about how you cured your fucking weird spine disease with shit. It kind of takes away from the argument.
Tom.
Yes.
What is the current infection rate for the coronavirus?
Man.
183 to 213, ain't it?
Oh yeah, Cat. I was walking today and there was this Chinese woman or Asian woman. I don't know if she was Chinese or not, but she had like this whole garb on, this headscarf, this mask. I was like, oh shit.
Oh, she was wearing like the dusk mask and everything like that.
Yeah,
Oh, this is
she had
fucking
like a
great.
head thing on. It was hilarious.
Oh my god, that's great. Although
It,
I've
enc-
seen
it,
pictures of like Koreans and Asian people, like they tend to wear that quite a lot.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Yuri
I'm
was
actually
doing
gonna
that
go.
before he even knew about Asian.
No, it encouraged me to go get one. So I'm gonna go get
Oh.
a face mask because I noticed she wasn't the first one I saw, but even Americans I've seen out here wear like the mask and stuff now. So I'm gonna go pick up one, just to show that I'm hygienic and stuff.
Make sure it says medical on it, otherwise it's not gonna do jack shit.
Yeah.
So this may be like the bubonic plague, man. Like this might wipe out like a good 50% of the population.
What are Asian people?
Well, I don't know.
Hopefully. Hope it happens.
Well, every time I see your numbers, more people are infected, but the death recovery ratio goes up at about the same 50-50 split.
What is the CDC saying?
That will change.
CDC is saying
The
it's
CDC,
fine.
don't go to
Yeah,
China.
CDC
That's what they're saying.
The CDC says it's fine. It's on alert, but don't get anxious. It's not like a full out alert, but to be cautious. Like wash your hands and like be conscious, but like don't get anxious. It's not a big deal.
The recovery rate for the Western world, at least America and Australia combined, is 2 people have recovered and 0 people have. So that's 100% people recovering. So
You know the CDC lies to us, right?
Another thing too is that God lies to you as well, Landon. So another thing too is that the Chinese medical system is like really good as well. They're going to be. It's just that I think the reason why it's harder for them is because they have so many people, But China doesn't have like a bad healthcare.
China's being dumb though. They had a live copy of the coronavirus, the current coronavirus, and they refused to give it to the to WHO and to the rest of the world. Luck Australia copied it recently, I think like 3 days ago. But like that, I
That's
don't know
cool.
why they did that. It's kind of a dick move for them to be like,
It is.
"Oh, we have this for research, but fuck you."
Well, they're Chinese, so it's always about the money. So they're going to sell the vaccine once they created the cure and stuff.
Yeah, well, now they get 0.
Good
Someone
one.
else has got.
Who laughed like that?
What's up, bitches?
What's up, man?
Hey, Deb.
Yuri, that was a good joke. I'm not gonna lie.
Wasn't that funny?
No, it was the first funny joke you said.
They have viruses and shit that can wipe out the whole fucking human population.
Yeah, like the zombie virus. I saw this one. Oh wait, that was the Walking.
Rabies, man. Weaponized airborne rabies.
I could just be talking with a tin hat or a tinfoil hat right now, but that's just what I.
You've heard of what?
Just about the CDC covering shit up.
Well, of course they do. I mean, honestly, I don't think that this coronavirus is that going to be that big a deal. But if you look at it from like a pragmatic standpoint, like from the government, if there was ever a virus that was sort of like the flu pandemic of the, I think it was in 1917. Of course, they'd want to keep it under wraps so that people wouldn't fucking riot and stop going to work and shitting themselves.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah.
Landon, tinfoil is no longer made out of tin. It's made out of aluminum, and it doesn't reflect signal. It acts as a receiver.
Get wrecked.
I literally just got a phone call from the state of Washington.
Was it sugar?
It's Washington, D.C. They found out I'm talking about the fucking CDC. Now they're going to fucking I want to wind up going missing.
Now they want your chickens. They're after 'em.
Some teleprompt, whatever shit calling. Like,
Concord is so dishonest, man. He's such a dishonest person. I'm just thinking about it, man. He's just so dishonest.
You're the one who keeps engaging him.
Yeah, I don't know.
He engages other people. What are you talking about?
He baits like so. I gotta admit, Concrete's a good baiter because like Concrete will like come at you like he's like willing to have like an earnest conversation. But then,
Yeah,
like
but
it always resolves.
look, you just literally not talk to him for a minute when he comes in. He'll bugger off again. That's he's only in here looking for negative attention. Try and talk to him so he can just fuck with you. So it's like expecting to get a conversation. I mean, obviously, I can understand why you're doing it for the lols, but if you're expecting an actual conversation out of him, I mean, you're kidding yourself, right? He's not here for that. He'll never
You're a
will
cutie,
be.
Concrete.
Oh yeah, Stargate. By the way, thank you for that server. By the way, I've been enjoying myself.
That's all right, man. I thought you might.
Servers. Oh,
Method was looking at that as well. He thanked me. He was quite looking for that kind of type of server.
oh, what's up, Stargate? Ain't seen you in a while.
I've been working and digging up my mate's lawn.
Jesus.
Hmm.
By hand or are you using a machine?
I'm using my own two hands and a spade and a sledgehammer.
Oh, that's always fun.
It's all right. I'm getting paid for it, so I'm happy.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Sugar, you should mail me one of those earthing mats because I'm trying to quit smoking, and I could use some grounding to help out of my body.
Oh my god, I'm so glad for you. This is incredible. When did this start happening?
2 days ago.
Well, inspiration. My favorite. One of my favorite things to do every day is I read all the new news articles on health that come out. Obviously, and there's one that came out. It's my favorite article in the entire week. It was front page news on a lot of different places, but also the BBC, and it was all about the lungs miraculous. They call the scientists call the magical. This is the words they use. The magical healing of lungs from smoking damage when you quit smoking. It's amazing. I'll post it. But the scientists said that when you're smoking, it's like this apocalypse is happening to all your lung cells and the lining. That they say over 100 mutations happen that just you can't imagine the damage. But a few cells are able to hide out in what they call, and I'm not making this up, a nuclear bunker, quote unquote. Whatever that means. So your cells are able to like barricade themselves in these little shelters, like a few healthy ones. And as soon as you quit smoking, they come out and they start completely healing the other cells. There was one person in the study who had been smoking for 40 years, and he quits. They got him to quit smoking, and after some time, 40% of his cells had managed to completely heal themselves from these little cells. It's incredible.
Yeah, I'm just curious, Sugar. How does that prevent me from having a nicotine craving?
Saying it should inspire you. That's all.
Well, that doesn't help with the nicotine cravings.
Moving from cigarette smoking to vaping was what helped me.
Well, I thought about that. But the reason that I decided to quit was because the doctor told me that they wouldn't perform my surgeries if I was still smoking because it would mess with the recovery too much.
Wait.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Hold on a second. Is it because of the nicotine?
Yeah.
Or is it? Oh, I gotcha. Well, one thing that you could do is you could get a vape system with zero nicotine. Now that's not going to help with like the physiological addiction, but it may help with the mental addiction of constantly having to like act like you're smoking. That's one thing you might want to take into account.
They make vape without nicotine in it?
Yes, they make zero nicotine juices, so you'll get like whatever taste that you want out of it, whatever flavor. And you'll get the vapor, and you'll be able to blow the vapor out, but they'll have zero nicotine in it. And if you want, like if you wanted to even go like, if you wanted to have just a tiny bit of nicotine inside of it, they've got like 1% nicotine juice. Like you can get it in any sort of milligram that you want, as low as you want to go. So
Might have to check into that.
just
I
go to
even
your
tried-
vape shop and ask them about it.
I even tried one that my hippie friends had where it's it's full of vitamins and herbs.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the vitamins are the reason people were dying from.
No. That was vitamin A, and they were illegal
Vitamin
THC
E,
cartridges.
not vitamin
That's
A.
right. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
Vitamin
my favorite vape flavor is grounding.
Big chunk.
Yeah, I know I've got to be driving my wife nuts at this point. I've been really edgy the last 2 days. She woke up last night and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was just pacing in the kitchen, just squeezing my hands.
Well, be ready, because so like, let's say best case scenario, you decide to move to vaping, and you keep like the same nicotine level. It's not gonna stop you from gaining weight, because what stops you from gaining weight, at least this was the case for me and cigarettes, was the taste of the cigarette. Like you're less inclined to eat. So even if you do move to vaping, you're going to have some sort of fitness plan in order, so that you don't gain a shitload of weight back.
Yeah. I think actually gaining weight might be a little bit good for me because I'm like 112 pounds.
I'm working on it.
Might be a good thing.
I quit smoking menthols. I switched to regulars.
If you want to gain weight, just switch to weed.
I quit cocaine cold turkey, no problem. I've tried to quit cigarettes before and I just can't do it. Like this tiny little thing has so much power.
Because cigarettes is actually more addictive than cocaine. They say it's as addictive as crystal meth. Very
Cocaine
psychologically addicting more than anything.
Yeah, cocaine is mostly psychologically addicting, not really physically addicting, whatever that means, right? So that means cocaine's not really like a drug that like, it's like kind of like DMT or something like that. It's going to give you like a 30-minute high, but it's not really you're not going to be addicted. Now, you could be addicted like psychologically to the sensation, right? But it's not going to be a drug that like holds you down per se.
I know I felt a lot better this morning when I woke up until I went to the bathroom and started hacking.
Yes, your lungs have
One of the
begun.
One of the things that vaping does, which I thought was really interesting, and I don't think it was meant to be this way. I think it's just a byproduct. Is that you'll notice when you start taking in the vapor that its texture is a lot different than cigarette smoke, and it actually draws out a lot of the shit that you put into your lungs from smoking, and you'll expel that out of your system. Like
that is true.
It's gonna feel rough in the beginning. Just like inhaling it is gonna feel like it's you're gonna cough a lot. But the thing is that what's going on is that warm vapor is drawing all that shit out of your system, and then before you know it, your fucking lung system will be over and beyond much better than what it was before when you were smoking.
Well, also, like in my case, it's vapor and small bits of plant matter, all of which are capable of being encased in mucus and expelled from the lungs fairly easily. So yeah, it makes you cough a lot more, but you're not getting as much in your lungs. It's great.
All I know is that it has.
I recommend cough drops as well if you're gonna vape.
Sorry. Cardio exercise as a smoker versus cardio exercise as a vapor.
It's different, isn't it?
Worlds apart. Worlds
Yeah.
apart. And anyone that tries to tell me that, oh, it's fucking up your lungs too, maybe, but certainly not in the same way that cigarette smoke has.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I noticed even difference in my breathing, like my ability to top off top off your lungs when you're catching your breath or getting your breath or whatever is much better. Probably like 75% better than it was when I was.
I know it's
like
a small step, I know it's a small step, guys, but I quit smoking menthols and I switched to regulars.
That's good.
And I noticed a whole big fucking difference. Jesus.
I've been
Are men-
smoking every day since I was 15. So I've been smoking 20
Did
years. So
menthol?
I'm interesting to see what it feels like when I'm no longer smoking.
Do
My big
menthols?
problem is I don't.
Feels so much better.
You
You'll
will.
feel
Do
much
Well,
better.
sorry.
this is my
Do
worry. Go ahead, Scarlett.
I didn't actually
do
feel that
mentho-
much better. I was smoking.
do menthols have like more nicotine or something? Like,
Wait, what? Tommy used to smoke?
No.
Tommy never smoked.
They're a
okay.
lot stronger, and they kind of burn your throat, and they make your mouth just feel horrible. And I switched from that to regulars, and boy, that about fucking killed me. Now I've gotten used to regulars.
Yeah, I went from I smoked Marlboro Reds and only Marlboro Reds from the time I was 15 to 29, 28 or 29.
Jesus.
And then yeah, just like those are like some of the hard outside of like Camel no filters. Those are like the hardest cigarettes that you can get.
Hell yeah.
I
Oh
honestly
fuck!
smoked
Why would you
Reds
ever use no
for like the
filters?
first 8 years, and then I discovered menthols, and I was smoking
What
menthols.
I
cigarette
used
No
to
wonder
love
you got a panic disorder.
the Turkish Gold no filters from Camel. Oh man, those was amazing.
Yeah, harsh as shit.
Oh, it
I
had
mean,
such a great
I
flavor.
get
The
why,
only
but
the only cigarette like the high end cigarette, and I don't even know if it's actually good. Like I loved Marlboro. Marlboro makes a great cigarette. Camel makes a great cigarette. But I tried a Winston one time, and that was the nastiest thing I had ever tasted. Oh, it was so bad.
Now, if you want something really bad, you ought to try smoking cloves. Cloves used to be a big
I
thing.
actually
Cloves
began
used to be a
smoking
big
with
thing back in the
cloves.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I
Go out
remember
to
back.
the club, and like having cloves was like the thing.
Yeah, like I think it was 18 or 19 and there was a cigarette shop and it was like the big fad to smoke cloves and those fucking things were disgusting. Of course, I still smoked them because I thought I was cool as shit.
I only liked them because they made your lips taste good, but everything else about them was fucking
but
disgusting.
I don't know. As far as like weed goes, I mean, you've got like a lot, like a wide variety of different flavor sets. Like what I've got now, like tastes almost like lime, and like you get like new shit all the time. And in a vaporizer, like you can really appreciate the tastes of them. And I don't know if that's weird to someone who doesn't like vape marijuana, but it's
Well,
That's what
it was
that's
it
what
was it was weird to me when I first started just because I've been so used to like the cigarette taste for so long and I went from the cigarette taste to like fucking fruit flavors and shit like that. And then after like I don't know, maybe 3 months, I could not stand the taste or the smell of a cigarette.
right.
Absolutely couldn't.
It's also like
Doesn't it bug you guys being mental slaves to a fucking chemical?
Go ahead, honey. I didn't
I
mean
mean,
Oh, you mean dopamine?
No, you're mental slaves. Like you guys live your lives. You'll be going along. You'll be like, oh, I'm starting my day. Oh, nicotine. I need that nicotine. Like that
Sugar.
invades your
Well,
mind.
They're talking about quitting,
You drink
but they
wait,
don't
coffee?
like being mental slaves.
How
wait,
much
hold
of your
on.
brain
Look,
power every day goes to nicotine? I need nicotine.
sugar. Some of us have stress in our lives and we have responsibilities other than how many fucking Instagram followers that we have on the fucking internet, right? It's kind of nice to have a
not
goddamn
stress.
escape, to have a goddamn escape from life every once in a while. And no, it doesn't bother me that I'm addicted to nicotine.
It's
So
just
there's your
it's just
answer.
a waste of brain power. It's using way too much real estate.
I
Way
use
too much
if you
real
think that
estate of your
vape
brain
juice that doesn't
power is
have any
going to
nicotine in it.
nicotine obsession.
Now what?
how could that take an insane amount of brain power? I mean,
Think about it. How many of your thoughts every day the human
you're just
mind
saying
has
it's
like
taking more time. That's
every
all.
day the human mind has like 5,000 thoughts. If you're a nicotine user, how many of those thoughts are about nicotine? Probably about 1,000. You know?
So you're saying that it takes more time.
No, I'm saying a lot of your brain real estate, the thoughts you have every day, go to nicotine.
Yeah,
How am
that's
I gonna get the nicotine? Where's the nicotine gonna come from?
that's
Doesn't that
stupid.
piss you
All
off?
right,
I don't.
I'm at the end of the day, and well, I have the choice between thinking about weed and feeding myself. Which am I
I know
gonna?
you could put those brain power thoughts to a lot of different things, though. You know.
I started smoking cigars. Like, they cost like $4, like a piece. But every now and then I'll treat myself. I don't get them all the time, but
Yeah, but
kind
the
of like
thing is,
I couldn't imagine having a peaceful daydream, imagining some really nice thing that happened to me or the future, or really just sitting there and having this really great moment, and then all of a sudden it being ruined by this thought that goes, get nicotine. Where's your nicotine?
Declan
Use
was
your
trying to
nicotine.
talk. Hey, Declan was trying to talk. Go ahead, Declan.
yeah, I was gonna say the thing about cigars though is that I mean, unless you smoked them for a really long time, you don't usually smoke them all in one sitting.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like
that's true.
you know what I mean? You put them out and then light them again, and they've got a shitload of nicotine in them already. So
Them some bitches will choke you out, man. I
yeah,
had
they
to
will.
get used to smoking them, but I like me a nice cigar every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Just chilling, watching TV, whatever.
I can relate
I
with the
wish
blunts.
Claire sent me those carts now, man. She said she would.
Most
I'm
people that
looking
I know
forward
that
to it.
smoke cigars, like decent cigars, they don't inhale. They they smoke them specifically for the flavor, but they don't inhale it. They just blow it out after.
Well, you don't even with cigars. You don't even need to inhale it to get the nicotine.
I thought the
It's
point of
absorbed.
cigars was that you shouldn't inhale them, right?
Well,
That you should.
the thing is that the nicotine is so potent in a lot of those that it will absorb through your regular mouth rather than your lungs, and you'll get the same like nicotine dose that you will, or even more, from a cigarette.
I just thought it was like very unpleasant to inhale cigars.
It is.
Like the cigar, I've never inhaled a cigar. It seems
Get all
stupid.
fucking dizzy and shit. I tell you, I could buy one.
You would also like smell like shit, right? If you did that, like your
I
breath would
love
be terrible.
I love how you guys are all like, oh
Damn
yes,
it,
we
Sugar, I'm trying to
choose.
talk.
I love how you guys we choose to be nicotine addicts. Oh yeah, it's a preferable lifestyle. Like you guys aren't just addicted, and that's why you
Okay,
can't quit.
we look your
No one said that.
your opinion on this, Sugar, is
Declan
noticed.
just
Okay.
said that. Declan was like, it relaxes me. Yeah, Declan, you're addicted. That's the only reason you're
Well,
losing
but
weight. It's the only reason you
that
can't
seems weird
stop,
though.
because you're addicted to something as powerful
Sugar,
as
you know
nicotine.
what?
that
You know
that
what,
seems
Sugar?
weird though to
Addiction is
say.
not
'Cause, like,
always a bad thing. And the only
well,
reason I'm quitting is because my surgeon won't do what I want him to do. If it
well, but
wasn't for
look,
that, I'd
I
continue to
mean,
smoke.
but nicotine and tobacco are not good for you, right? But like, it's I've never encountered that though with cigar smokers. I know that, like, I'm sure that most cigarette smokers are like addicted, right? For sure. But all the people that I've ever known that smoked cigars just literally did it like in all instances recreationally. I don't know like anyone who's addicted to fucking cigars, right? Probably because you don't inhale it.
Now you get like
You just taste it.
You get like lip cancer and like mouth cancer. But
Oh,
No, yeah, no, it does hurt, but
there
it
has
does
been
hurt.
an update too.
Young, I can get a nice cigar for about near $3 and something.
Ha,
cents.
yeah. More people recovered than dying.
Oh, we've got our first case here, and like the first case in Italy was like 20 kilometers from here, which is great.
Yeah,
We're
I'm not
gonna
taking any
die.
chances anymore.
What's funny is that we had this like Chinese girl in our course, like in my class, right? And she left university. She like gave up on her studies on like beginning of January, like the 10th of January, 15th of January, something like that. So it was very funny. People were saying that she spread the virus in our university and then dipped.
Remember when Ebola broke out?
Yeah, but there was much more. Well, rightfully so, I guess. There was more anxiousness about Ebola because
I've already been
you shit
taking
out your
action.
organs.
Yeah, I've already been taking action. Now I'm gonna go get like a mask and stuff now, protect myself.
Yeah, just wear a bunch of condoms and like put them all around your body.
He was a Maoist revolutionary spreading spreading the Maoist praxis.
She was she was the weirdest girl in our class. She would just like wouldn't talk. It was weird. I've never heard her talk in like 6 months.
She was focused on school. She wasn't there to socialize.
Well, she gave up on it, so I don't think so.
Yeah, it's because of you.
Yeah, of course.
Fucking calling her weird and shit. Such a fucking dip.
I never called her weird to her face.
Yeah, she probably fucking heard you giggling in the corner.
No, I didn't do that.
Oh, you didn't do that. Someone else was. Oh, okay.
Maybe so.
You know what you are?
I'm a bully enabler.
Nah, you're a bully enabler, bystander. Just as bad as the bully.
Damn.
My breathing's been heavy as of late, and so I've been.
Oh
freaking
my
out.
god, you've been to so many fucking Asian markets, man.
You're fucking dead.
I was freaked out.
It's just like I imagine like Yuri going to the Tesco. Well, I don't know wherever. What is it, Costco's or whatever? He goes to an Asian lady to impress her with with his Vietnamese skills or whatever, and he just